Hello and welcome to my free online lecture series on economics. Today we're going to talk about employment, interest and inflation, the relationship between these three variables and the consequences of changes in interest rate. So let's start. What is interest? Well, interest is kind of a rent, you can say. Okay, so it's sort of a rent. And why does it exist? Because it's like renting a commodity, any good or service. Let's say you hire a cab, you pay some fare, you rent a house, you pay some rent. So it's exactly like goods and hiring a good or a service. So fine. Thing is, it's applicable on all capital. Okay, doesn't matter where the capital is, it's applicable. Now in what sense? Well, think about it. The money in your wallet, does it not attract any interest rate? Of course you're gonna say no, it doesn't attract any interest rate because it's in my wallet. Well, the point is, if you had kept it in a bank or lent it to someone, it would have attracted some interest rate. But that sounds impractical because you need to have some money for the transaction. Okay, something which we call as transactional value of money in economics. So of course that's there, but we can't just gloss over the fact that interest rate isn't applicable on it. Yeah, so at a technical level, interest rate will be applicable on all capital. It doesn't matter. Now, this term opportunity cost, okay, why it can be thought as opportunity cost of the capital. Capital essentially means the money that you're going to invest in either production of either good or a service. So what does opportunity cost mean? Well, opportunity cost, let's give you the simplest example. Let's say there are three options. Option number one is that let's say you get 60k. Okay. Option number two is that you get 80k in a job, okay, or in some kind of service offer. It should look like 60. And in option number three, you get 100k. Now, if someone asks you, if your consideration is purely monetary, okay, you're not looking at any other considerations, whether you have to move out of town or things like that. You're purely looking at monetary considerations. Which one would you choose? This? Not really. This? No. You will obviously choose this one. The reason is, if you are already saying the only consideration I'm operating under is monetary consideration, then you will choose this. But then by choosing this, which are the options that you have forgone, that you have not taken? Okay, it's this and this. You haven't really taken these options. Okay, you haven't chosen these options. That means the next best option for you was 80k, so you let go 80k. So if I were to say, or if I were to ask, what is the opportunity cost of exercising this option? The opportunity cost for exercising this option would be 80k because you did not choose the other one. Now you obviously say this sounds absolutely nonsensical because obviously I'm going to choose 100k and not 80k. But yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. You have to see things relatively in economics. There can't be any absolute. So opportunity cost exists on everything that we do. Okay, the trade-offs that we make on everyday basis, that is what opportunity cost really is. So wouldn't it be applicable on capital? Obviously it would be applicable on capital, because if, let's say, a businessman decides to start a business venture, okay, Let's say somebody decides they're going to start a computer repair shop, okay, or an IT firm, small IT firm. Considering you're starting an IT firm, let's say you're an expert in IT, okay, let's assume. That means you could have gotten a job offer in the IT market, but because you're running this firm, because you're running this business, you can't work in an IT firm. You can't be in two places at the same time. It's a direct corollary actually of this Aristotelian school of thought, that you can't be in two places at the same time. So the thing cannot be in two places at the same time. The exact same idea applies here. So the fact that that person is running a business cannot work in the IT sector elsewhere itself says that he has to let go that opportunity. So letting go that opportunity, he's incurring some kind of cost. Okay, you incur a cost that can be thought of as opportunity cost. Okay, so it's definitely applicable on capital, because again, taking an example of a businessman, let's say a business, the rate of interest, ongoing rate of interest, let's say I is, let's say, 4%. Okay, so that means if that's the applicable rate of interest, it is applicable on all capital. Again, remember, whether you hold capital, that means whether you already have capital or not, it doesn't really matter. Rate of interest is applicable on it, because if you, let's say, if you already have money to invest in a business, that doesn't mean the rate of interest is not applicable on you. Why? Again, the idea of opportunity cost tells you that if you did not invest it in a business, you could have lent that money and could have earned that 4% rate of interest. So obviously the cost of interest is also included in the cost of production. Okay, just like there are different costs of production owing to factors of production, which has land, labor and capital in it. And capital also has this cost. So factors of production, one of the factors of production is capital. Okay, so opportunity cost is applicable. Okay, so it becomes cost of production. So capital, just merely investing capital creates a cost, which is the interest rate. Alright. Why does it exist? We already said that it's just like borrowing something, a good or service, and you paying rent on it. Yeah. Most importantly, what are the consequences of changes in the rates of interest? That is the question that we want answered. So let's see in the next slide.